Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
We are public now. That's what I'm
All
saying.
right.
Private.
We should do a mic check.
Yeah. No, I can tell the mic's working. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Welcome to Level Up Thursday. We're still getting our technical issues out of the way. We'll have it together next week. I got so much going on. I got to do this and do that. It's just me setting all this stuff up or even know how to set it up. So I got it straight. But stand by. Had to kick the dog out. Yeah. So what's been going on this week?
How we level up, right? We're learning by
Yeah.
all those challenges that happens every single day.
hmm
How was your week?
Busy, busy, busy. I'm trying to get all the stuff you guys are working on going. Plus, it was it's our insurance and renews for the trucking company. Actually, today was the other one expired and the other one kicked in. The new one kicked in. With commercial insurance is very tricky.
Yeah.
You really got to get it ready a month in advance, which I was doing that, but my agent was kind of slow. And he finally got it working because you got to send all this out to the governmental agencies. Because if you don't have insurance, you can't work. You can't operate. They shut you down.
Yeah.
So getting all that together and that that was up like I was waiting like 2 hours on hold, waiting for the people who get the files and make sure it's updated, get them on the phone. So we got it worked out. It's just how it goes, you know.
It's how it
So,
goes. Productive. It's good.
yeah. So we on Zoom. We're not on my other platform because we couldn't get rid of the echo for some
And
reason.
my office keep turning out to a recording room. So he put so much stuff on the wall so to
Yeah.
put for the sounds to sounds better. And I'm excited. I was like, okay, the show is coming up and we still have tech, but that's okay. We figured it out.
Yeah, we get it straight. I ain't worried about that. I hadn't you remember I used to stream from Zoom before, but I got to go back up and set up all the API keys and all that again. And I was like, oh, so I couldn't really give a preview of what the show was gonna be.
Yeah, because I
So
remember one of your shows with your wife, you were able to share a link for people to join in.
yeah, I can still do that. Yeah,
Okay,
you can still do that. But you
okay.
got to be careful now letting people get on because you might get some troll and if they show something that's not appropriate, you can they'll shut your channel down. That happened. I actually saw that happen where they had a live stream and someone came in and they showed something inappropriate. They shut their whole channel down for that.
Uh-oh.
That one, and it wasn't even. It got the channel back, but it just like that. I think this is all AI generated.
Yeah. Now,
So
if you want to even upload if you create something on Amazon like a KDP, they actually ask you if you use the AI, and they might not accept your that upload for selling if it's what
AI,
any type
like
of
if you do like a book or something,
yeah.
you said
So
if you
you
use
there is a
AI,
section, yeah, that you have
ah,
to, and
so
if you
they don't want you using AI. Okay, all right.
no,
I wonder why. I wonder what that's all about. I guess it's not considered original.
probably it's not the original you, but at the same time, everybody the world is changing so fast, like towards the
Right,
AI and the Tesla car and everything that runs for you. So
right, right. Yeah, I've used it. I've used ATI. It helps with things like when I send letters out, I kind of write them out and then I say, "Can you just rewrite it?" And they rewrite it. Comes out
yeah,
pretty good. Yeah. So this week, what did you want to talk about?
how to step up of your comfort zone.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Now,
familiar with that.
and you know what? Back in December 2022, you challenged me to do 1,000 videos,
Right.
which I'm still counting them. I'm not even close to half. But the first 100 videos that I created, they were great for me to step out of my comfort zone, to show myself in the camera and show my face. But the last 2 weeks, I said I need to level up. I need to step
Right.
up because it's time to move on. You can't stay where you are and expect different results. So that the idea came up. How do you step out of your comfort zone? Like identify, first of all, understand your comfort zone first. And I think it's important because it's important for our growth. If we want to grow and we want to get to where we want to get, it has to be something that you have to change in your daily routine in order for you to move on and level up.
Right. I have to say, I would not be where I was if I didn't make myself uncomfortable. I make myself uncomfortable a lot, but I'll get into that a little bit later. But I have a question for you.
Mhm.
Prior to you starting to make the channels, prior to you had the idea of what you wanted to do. I guess you knew what you wanted to do. Did you know how you wanted to do it before you spoke to me?
No,
Okay.
I had no idea.
Okay.
You came and you just throw me that bomb, and I was trying to, and I share with you the secret of having my script
Mm-hmm.
that I was reading out of my script. But lately, I was trying to analyze all those videos, and I said, I need to sound more me, like natural.
Right.
And that was a challenge by itself. That was for me, I needed to step out and do something different. And it took me so long to do it, but I did it. I did it. I did it this week, and I'm so happy and grateful.
Right.
And
Right.
I didn't know how to do it. There was, I knew what I wanted to do,
Right.
but I just didn't know how.
How to go about it. Why do you think that is? Why it was so hard for you to figure out what to do?
I think for me, I was kind of scared that it's not, I'm not good enough. And I share with you some of that, like who is gonna listen to me,
Right.
and the part of the English that I wanted to make sure that people will understand what I'm saying. Not only me understand what I'm trying, the message that I'm trying to deliver is people actually will listen, but
Coherent.
also understand and take action.
Okay. I guess those are legitimate concerns, because English is not your first language. Are you going to put the information together in a coherent where people can understand you?
Mm-hmm.
And I could see where you could have reservations about that. Um, is it with your accent, and have you had challenges with that in the past with people and not understanding you, not being patient and listening?
Yeah. See, when you speak, I'm translating your whatever you say in a matter of seconds to Hebrew. And
Right.
then I
Oh,
understand everything. Yeah. And sometimes I even ask Steve for help. What did it mean? What does it mean? Then I go back and listen again. But while you speak and while I'm listening to you right now, it's a matter of seconds that I translate it to Hebrew for me to understand
oh.
better.
See, what you just did was unlock misunderstandings. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you're talking to somebody with a accent and that's Jinglish is not their first language. Like, why don't they understand me? Well, you just explained it and said, well, I'm translating it into my first language so that I can understand it. Even though while you can speak English and understand what I'm saying, you're still reverting back to your
Mm-hmm.
original tongue, your original language to even interpret it. Whereas
Yeah.
me, I don't have to do that. Wow, that you just I'll open my eyes up to realizing something when you said that. And I think everybody who's listening should have a different understanding from here on out, that we need to be more patient with people if this is not their first language. And I think Americans in general are really big jerks when it comes to that. Like when they're dealing with foreign people, you need to have speak English. You need to do. Well, first of all, speaking of stepping out on your comfort zone, you stepped out on a comfort zone just learning English anyway. Like to be
Mhm.
able to come to another country and be able to communicate where you can be somewhere and speak English and they can understand you and you can understand them and then reinterpret it. But it's going to take you just a years longer to respond because you're processing everything. And
Yeah,
we as Americans are really ignorant and we don't take that into consideration. Why? Because most of us here don't have a second language.
right.
Whereas you go to other countries, they're speaking more than two languages. On average, most other countries are speaking at least three languages or more. Like in Africa, those people they like to demonize Africa. It's such a bad place. It's poor, poverty stricken. But my parents visited Africa and they said the average person there spoke 7 to 9 languages.
Wow.
Now, these supposed to be poor folks. So I'm saying, maybe materialistically they didn't have a lot, but they had a lot because they can go anywhere and be able to communicate. And all
Hmm.
of them are doing the same thing you're doing, interpreting all of those language into their original tongue so that they can process it.
Right. And I came here in, was it 2023? My 20, yeah, no, 2013 was my when did I come? No, sorry, 2003. My bad. It was the second time I came and I learned English. It was so they teach us English in Israel as a second language, but
Right.
since we don't speak the language, you don't really practice.
Mm-hmm.
So I came here. I watched cartoons with subtitle. I watched shows with subtitle, and I went to the library and I grabbed books for fifth or sixth grade, and I started reading them.
Mm.
And then from time to time, I just start speaking more, and I had a lot of mistakes even today, but I'm more confident about my English today than before.
Yeah.
So,
But I wouldn't
but
have never known if you didn't tell me that.
yeah. So now when I'm trying to do a video, I need to make sure that whoever listen on the other side understand what I'm saying. So I had to step out of my comfort zone of being comfortable where I'm, and I learned it from you. Do everything that you're not comfortable, and then you can
Oh, it
step out.
becomes easier. Yeah, it becomes very easier. Just imagine living a life where you didn't make yourself uncomfortable. How boring that would be,
Very. I
right?
got boring from all my videos. A
Yeah.
hundred something videos. I'm like, I need to do something different. And was a Tuesday, I recorded a new video for my channel with no script. I had my notes, and it was so natural, and I felt so great. When I left the office, I said, "Yes, I did it! I did it! I'm so excited! I
Right.
finally did it." And when you actually do it, you look back and you said, "It it wasn't that bad at
It
all. What?
wasn't.
I was waiting the whole time."
The challenge is doing it. Getting over the hump of being afraid to do it. But once you get into it, you be like, "Oh, this is not that bad." It's really
Yeah,
not
it's
as
not.
bad as people think. It, and if I believe if you're an authentic person and don't mind talking about yourself and being honest with yourself, it's even easier that way. Even most people I find that are very uncomfortable in front of a camera, they have a lot to hide about themselves.
Hmm.
And they're doing so much covering and pretending to be something they're not or someone they're not that the block is revealing when they start to talking that they're going to reveal too much about themselves.
Right.
You see, so I picked that up so long ago. I said, yeah, most people that are able to get on the fly and just get out there and just be authentic, people want to just hear you, not
Hmm.
what. someone else has said or someone else's idea. They want to hear um they want to hear your story. Everybody is uplifted by your story. Most people are. And if you're gonna get a few people who have hate, I get that all the time. But that's just how life is. Not everybody's gonna like you, but most people will. Most
Right.
people will like you. So
Yeah.
forget about the few. And
Right.
let's go back to the video thing. You did over 100 videos, right? That
Hmm.
was between a year ago, starting a year ago.
Yeah, I started January 2023. So right after you came here, then I will start to, okay,
Yeah, I
I need
remember
to do
when you were doing your videos. So now you have leveled up to doing a video without a script.
it. Yeah. Only with my notes, and I have them here too with me today. But I've
Compared with
learned that it's not that big of a deal. Like you're
Mm-mm.
trying to be someone that you're not. You try to memorize everything.
Right.
And I said, it's not me.
So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
What feels better, doing it kind of impromptu? What I mean by that, kind of doing without the notes and so scripted, or being really scripted?
I think I had to go through that script
Mm-hmm.
video in order to get me here with no script, just a note.
Right.
I
Right.
think
Well,
that if that answer your question.
yeah, that answered my question. What happened is, whenever that happens, is when you start with the scripts, what happened, you did so many videos, you're recalling all of those videos, all the times you talk, and you're just putting that all together. You just built up a resume of information and practice over
Mm-hmm.
time that now you can do it without the script.
Right,
That's
and
what
I'm
happens. And that's the purpose of me saying, just do 100 videos. Just do it.
right, and I'm glad
Don't
you
worry
took it.
about how bad it is or how good. Just do the videos. Don't worry about criticism, because people are going to criticize you even when you do the best. Look at the people. Michael Jackson, all of these big stars, best in their games, and they still find people who attack them. Doesn't matter where you are in life. People are going to say whatever it is. It's not about them. It's about you and your growth and leveling up to the point where you can look back and say, I was over there at one time where I just was afraid to do talk to people through a camera or whatever. Next thing you
Mm-hmm.
know, you'll be in front of audiences of thousands of people. Everybody started there.
Right.
The issue that most people have is they see somebody at their top and they want to be there. But they
Mm-hmm.
don't realize the pain and the struggle to get even there, or the work. And that's just not talking about pain and struggle, just the work they put in to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hear people say to me, "Oh man, it's easy for you. It's talent. It's just no. It was practice." Now, fortunate for me, I grew up in an environment where I was always preaching to people, reading
Right.
Bible scriptures and stuff like that. I gave my first public talk at 8 years old in front of a congregation of people.
Wow.
Of over 100 people. So think about that at 8 years old, standing in front of people, reading and interpreting the Bible. It was a
Wow.
5-minute speech, but as you get older, they elevate you and stuff. Then, talking in front of people is almost natural for me now.
Mm-hmm.
And as I've been doing this and doing seminars, because it was a big year, it was a lot of years went by that I spoke in front of a lot of people to my first seminar. But when I did my first seminar, it's just like all that recall came back, and I was able to just teach. And then
Yeah.
now it's just okay, whether it's a lot of people or a small group of people, but putting yourself, taking the what you call the risk, and getting out of your comfort zone. That's something that's been talked about. I've always heard, get out of your comfort zone. But unfortunately, most people don't want to get out of the comfort zone because
Mm-hmm.
it's safe. It's safe over there. But I can tell you, people who don't go out of their comfort zone are not truly happy people.
Right. That's true.
They're not. Because just look at the sense of accomplishment that you got from just doing that video where you didn't worry about a script or
Not
notes.
only that, I learned how to edit my video, which
Right.
is got me more excited.
Right. You go in and you can edit it. Yeah, see?
See?
Yeah. And
And I said to myself, why I was waiting so long to do it. It now it's like so simple.
right.
It took months to do it.
Right. And when you're doing it like that, you are making mistakes, but you have the power of editing
Right.
so that people don't see those mistakes.
Right.
Although, I do most of my stuff live. I don't edit anything. My the guy I have out of Philippines, Leo, shouts out to Leo. He edits all my videos and put the little words to it and the little extra pictures. He does a great job.
He does. I love it.
Great
Yes.
job.
Yes.
And every week he's working hard to do those videos. So people look, I keep putting the bully. No, that's him. He's doing it all. I delegate that. But soon, eventually, I'll be delegating a lot to people once we get all this stuff going. And I'll just be in front of a camera or in talking, delivering the speech. But I'll have a whole staff of people doing certain things eventually. And same thing, you're going to have the same situation because you will not be able to focus on your message if you're doing all of the jobs or if you're wearing all of the hats. You won't.
Do you see that here? All of these is their ideas of content.
Wow.
All of these, it's I'm writing down every single idea I have. And if it's 4 a.m. in the morning or it's noon at the day, but I'm writing down and I've learned also how to turn them into content, and content will turn them into courses and creating. Yes. So that's also something.
You see what you're learning, right? You see what you're learning. How it's not physical labor that makes the money.
It's not. No.
It's the mind.
It's the mind. I had to shift that mindset like 360.
Doing and lifting and heavy lifting, that's not where the money is really made. It's all made with mind, coming up with ideas and turning it into money.
Right.
All of that you got sitting over there that you pointed at is all money.
It's all money. It's
right.
all money. And it's going to be amazing. I can see it happen. And so I wanted to thank you because I think if you wouldn't challenge me to do 1,000 videos, which is now a little bit over 100, I wouldn't be comfortable to do the natural video without a script. So I had to go through that part of because remember, before you told me anything, I never did a video in my life. I never turned the camera. I never spoke and said anything. It was pictures only, and most of them was selfie. So thank you because if you tell me that, you took me to another level.
You mentioned I told you to do, I've told hundreds of people to do that. I've told so many people to do that over the years. And literally, well, two or three people did it. Now, here's the thing that each one of those people got in common. Each one that listened to me and actually did it, all of them are not from this country.
Really?
No. No.
That's crazy.
Well, I tell you why. This is just my theory, but I believe it's our American system of education which hinders them from moving forward. Now, and I'm going to be even more frank. I believe one reason why they didn't believe me or listen to me, the people from here, is who I am, what I look like, I'm a dark-skinned man. And that right there, they devalue my words because of that. Right? No matter, and I could be doing the best I can, the greatest They see they can see the fruit of my labor, and they still will not listen. Just show you how bad that is. And secondly, I believe it's just our educational system is so terrible that it has programmed people that the only way they can even survive or do anything is by going through that system and going to get a job and joining in with the rest of the 99% and walking down that road.
Mm-hmm.
See, people that come from different societies, different cultures, have a different perspective on life. They tend to see opportunities where we don't see them. You know, I've given that speech to hundreds of people, most of them from this country. And over the last couple of years, I met you over the last few years. And then I met the young man that has Road Warriors, Road something, and his mom's got a channel. I encourage them, and they're thriving.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that young man started his channel like over the summer.
Oh, word warrior.
Yeah, Road Warrior. Yeah.
Do you see how it's
Yeah.
growing? I'm so happy for him.
Yeah.
This is
See,
amazing. Yes.
and that was just not even a year, and it's growing like that.
Yeah.
And the reason why his channel grows so fast, he's young, so he's like a sponge, and he's firing on all cylinders. With us, we got a lot of baggage. We're older, and we have things going on that distract us. Him, he ain't got a whole lot of distractions. So yeah, I'm not using those as an excuse, but I know why his channel was taking off. Because if I could get me a young kid like him working on with me, I know that'd help take things even further. But so that's what you proved is not so much that I was right. Like, hey, I was right for telling you all of that. That's not the point that I'm trying to make. The point is you went on faith and just did it without questioning and just said, let me just do this. You know, I'm sure you had your doubts, but it's like, you know, you ever jump off of I just say, I went to Mexico and they had this tall thing you could jump off into the water. It was
I did
like,
a skydiving.
huh?
I did a skydiving.
You just got, oh shoot, baby. Wait a minute. You were in the military, so you did a lot of risky stuff. Talk about taking risks. Huh?
I did in the military, but when I came here, 2003, I jumped out of the plane. It was 14,000 feet.
Man, so you know what I'm talking about. So that initial before you jumped, there was a lot of, should I do this? And you basically, what did you have to do? You basically had to shut your mind off and just jump. Just leave. Because the longer your mind talked to you, and you would have talked yourself out of it. But you just had to say, quiet, I'm just going to do it, and just tensed, and you did it. You know? I'm just imagining when I jumped off that thing into the water. It was pretty high. It was this big rock. And I jumped off, and it was like, and the water was like 30 feet deep. And it was like it was coming out of a cave. Like it was something different. I never did that before. And the guy said, you want to do this? And then I was just like, oh. And so a lot of people walked up there and walked away. And I got there. I said, why am I doing this? Like, what am I trying to prove? I started having all these conversations with myself. And then I got to the point where, you know what? You're here now. You can't turn around. All you can do is walk forward. And I just took one step. It just dropped in the water. You know? So, but that's what it takes to do these things. You just got to take that step and just drop. So many people have great ideas. And guess what? There's a lot of people. Here's the other thing. There's a lot of people creating content, but nobody ever see it. They stacking. I got to do this. I got to have all this right. And here it is. A year goes by, 2 years, 3 years go by, and you're still stacking content. That content you're creating is getting old.
Right.
It's getting irrelevant because it's one thing people got to understand. Once the idea is there for you to do it, that's when it's relevant. It's not relevant 10 days from now, because when 10 days get here, you be like, it's not as powerful. And you won't be able to deliver. You deliver when the idea comes. You move in the spirit of it. And that's just how I live my whole life. I move in the spirit of what I need to do. It confuses the hell out of people around me. Like, oh, you just don't plan anything. And no, I move when that voice tells me to move. When I hear the call, I move on it. Now, even though it's not looking right, it always ends up right. Always.
But you know what's the problem? If you share your idea with one person and it's the wrong person, that's why all your ideas stuck and then they get old. Because that one person told you that's not a good idea. Or what are you talking about? How are you gonna make money out of it?
Right.
So they start messing with you, and then you start questioning yourself if it's a good idea or not. So you need to learn also who to share your idea with.
Right. I learned that the hard way.
Right. So if you trust yourself enough, you know it's a good idea. And hey, what's the worst can happen? It's not going to work.
Right.
So at least you tried, but everything works. I learned that everything works.
Truth, when it don't work, it's working.
Right.
It really does. If you just pay attention, sometimes you just gotta move through the difficult times. You gotta move through it. You know, I meet those challenges all the time with the trucking company, but we just move somehow every month. We trucking, we moving. You know, we got huge expenses. You know, the insurance is $31,000 a year just for the insurance, just to keep it running. Not counting what it takes to put. You know, sometimes we spend in a week's time over $2,000 in fuel.
Yeah.
$2,000 to $3,000 a week in fuel. Just imagine that. So, a lot of people that gave up a long time ago. This is too much. When I first started the trucking company, I started it for and you're right about be careful who you're talking to. And this is an example. And the people that said this meant well, nothing, no hit on them. But I'm just going to tell you what they said. Oh, you're better than me. I wouldn't be doing that. And they kept saying that over and over. You're better. I wouldn't. That's too much work. And then my homeboy, he was saying, because I was doing it for my sons, and me and my son wasn't kind of doing what he was supposed to be doing, and we were going back and forth. Oh, you're better than me. I wouldn't do that. And listening to that, I started to feel kind of guilty, like maybe I shouldn't be doing it. Then I had an epiphany. If I'm going to do it like he's telling me to do it, or what he wouldn't do, I would be just like him, working a 9 to 5. See, the 9 to 5ers is always going to give you an opinion that only supports where they are. No offense on you 9 to 5ers, but that's what their perspective is. Working for yourself and going through the trials and tribulations of building your business to a multi-million-dollar business is not in their mind at all. So they're going to only, you better than me. I wouldn't do that. Yeah, I'm not, it's not about me being better. But if I did what you're doing, I'd be sitting and doing exactly what you're doing. Right. So you got to dismiss those words as just words, because you're not that person. I say, here I am. I own my time. I live pretty good. I travel pretty well for myself. We take trips and pretty much at will. And here it is. Everybody else got a plan around a job to take their vacation. I don't. I do have to plan around my work, but not a job and have to put in time and get permission and all that stuff. But that's the stuff you were just talking about. You got to be careful what you sharing and what you're doing with people. And now I barely talk, like outside of what I on the show. I really don't talk about my trucking company. I really don't talk about anything else to everybody because they're just not going to understand. They're not going to get what I'm trying to do or what I'm trying to accomplish.
I'm
So,
gonna tell you a secret. Back in I think it was 2011 or 2012, I actually started a moving company with a friend of mine.
uh-huh.
I didn't know what I'm getting into it, but when I talked to people that have already up and running moving company, all of them told me the same thing. Why are you doing it? Why are you getting in yourself into it? Now they're living a very good life,
Uh-huh.
very, very nice lifestyle life, right? But they all told me, why are you doing it? I didn't want to work the job, the 9 to 5 job, which was more like 10 to 9 every day, 6 days a week. I wanted to have my own business. But when they told me that, I'm not gonna lie, it kind of like mess with me a little bit. Why I'm actually doing it? Does it worth it? Does it worth my time? I invest a
They were
lot of
doing
money,
it though. They're
but I
trying to
do
keep you from being competition.
right. Um, and they always came to me like because I wanted to talk to someone who actually understand the business better.
Right.
Okay, because I got myself into a business that I didn't know really much about. And it was also a mistake that I should have researched a little bit more, but I had an opportunity and I jumped on the opportunity and I took it
Right.
without even question and do a research. But they kept came back to me and tell me why you doing it, why you got yourself into the moving company. You know how much money you need to pay for insurance, you know that you need a
Oh, that's
and
the
you know
tricky.
that right, but you guys you have it. You run in a moving company. You
Mm-hmm.
have those trucks. You know how to run. So they didn't even want to share with me what is the steps that I need. They're like the one question, why are you doing it? So I just like from that day, I'm not sharing.
Right.
I'm
They
not
didn't.
sharing my
They were trying to discourage you, but they
no.
were doing it. And
Yeah.
insurance is an issue. A lot of good insurance companies do not want to insure moving companies
Nope.
because there's so much liability and claims damaging somebody's house, moving furniture, and the turnover rate for people who is going to actually do the moving, packing and moving and stuff is high.
Right.
The type of people that you're going to get, most of these people only doing the job because this is all they can get. They don't have the same, like I had a guy when I moved to Chapel Hill, the guy goes after he finishes moving, he goes into the woods, not deep in the woods, but where we could see him. Like the cars are parked here, and then you had you step up into this grassy area, then it's woods out there. He goes maybe 10 feet away from the cars and starts to take a leak right there in front of the place where he moved me. That's the type of mentality that you're going to be dealing with in that business. So, now they do have upscale moving companies. There's companies that went into a niche and they deal called, white glove service. And they deal with high end. And there's another good moving company. I said it's like college kids moving something, but it's a lucrative business, but it's a time hog. Meaning
Mm-hmm.
you have to watch. Of course, you got to get clients to move,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna
So I
get
got
the big ones. Yeah,
I bought a truck. I used U-Haul truck for to get insurance, right? You need insurance before you even
you got to
start
get that
moving.
DOT number right. Yeah,
Right? And I got all that and I had to do an exam with the state and I did that and I had to go through a hearing. I was sitting in front of judges in Chicago downtown and I got all of it. But with those people that told me why you doing it could give me some of not even like help me. I was asking for help
you
and
in
they reject.
competition.
I
Yeah,
had I had to figure out and all by myself and with the person that I went
That
in.
you was working with.
But after that, I said, you know what? I'm out. This is not for me. This
Yeah.
is great. I had to learn it on my own, but at the same
Yeah,
time, I've
it's
learned.
yeah, moving people's furniture is a very tricky ordeal, you know.
Yeah,
Though there's a lot of companies doing it, and I've had some really good moving companies and I had some terrible ones. So,
yeah.
but
Here in Illinois, they have their own police.
yeah.
They have their own, yeah, they have their own police, their own department, and if you messed up, that's it.
Hmm.
They can close your business.
Yeah, you talking about the DOT?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, they that's a whole nother world. They got is very highly regulated. And when you get insurance, you got to specify what you're doing. Are you moving or are you just general freight? That the insurance is expensive.
yeah.
Very expensive.
Hmm.
Oh, because you're gonna have a claim. If you're moving people's furniture, you will have a claim. You're gonna have one. It is just almost guaranteed. There's a claim. Even if you didn't do it, you're gonna get a claim because somebody's gonna lie and they're gonna say, you broke something when you didn't. So
Right.
yeah. But there's a lot of movie companies and they stick with it and they're making money. So,
Hmm.
you know, so so with that moving company, what did you learn from that?
Then I need to search a little bit more what I'm getting into and not depending on someone else's knowledge or experience
Right.
because I didn't know. I wanted to get out from my job because I didn't like it to work for other people. So I saw this opportunity and I jump on it without
Right.
thinking too much, without trying to have a plan in place or and as
Kind of
and
really seeing what you were getting into, looking at the pros
right.
and the con. And that's typically like in the trucking butt business. I knew some of the pros, but I really didn't know the real. I knew some of the cons, but I didn't really know a lot of the cons until I actually got into it. I'm like, whoa, this is a lot. The things that could happen. Oh, just you got to worry about DOT. Like you said, they got their own police. Things, just so many things. You got to clock time. You can't drive but so much. The drivers, you got to be on top of the drivers, making sure they doing everything they're supposed to do to keep the company's safety score. Because you're you're gonna get freight based on your safety score. If you got a bad safety score, nobody's gonna let you run their loads. Period.
Right.
And then on top of that, if you have certain insurance, they won't take you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that's your insurance company? Oh no, we're not taking it. We're not letting you move our loads.
Right.
So that's why our insurance is what it is, because we got the premium insurance providers so that we can get premium work. So
Right.
that's money, that shoot. I
It
just
is.
have to take out $5,000 just for the insurance this week, just to renew the insurance, $5,000. And then, it's
Yeah.
$31,000. So that's around $2,700 a month in insurance.
Right. I got a lead one day, but I didn't have the right insurance. And that
Right.
can be a really good money, but it was downtown Chicago, like a building that I was like, wow, okay. But then the insurance, I didn't have it. And I
Yeah.
had to cancel it. And finally I got the lead. Finally I got someone on the phone and probably from someone trying to, but now people reach out to you. But back then I had to reach out to a lot of people from the leads that I got. So
Right.
that not having the right insurance, I had to cancel.
Right. No one's telling you that you need the right
No,
insurance. No one's
no.
telling you that. And in trucking, what we figured out is that a lot of the brokers don't want you to have a dispatcher, like an outside third party dispatcher dispatching your services. They
Hmm.
frown on that. But
Right.
on the internet, if you go to the YouTube, they had all these dispatching services. I'll dispatch. You can be a dispatcher. This. No, they're not telling you the truth because the brokers are not allowing dispatchers to run, the good brokers. Now you
Yeah.
can go. gets you can ship some freight, but those brokers are not paying anything. They don't want to pay the money. But the good brokers don't want you to have a third party dispatcher. They have to work for your company.
Right.
Oh, and now I figured out why our dispatchers that we hired wasn't getting freight. They're not telling us they're not getting freight because they're a dispatcher. But now I'm like, when I started dispatching, no, we don't deal with dispatcher. Do you work for your company? Who is your name? And what they do is they go to when I say who I am, they go look me up and see if I'm on it's called our MC 150, MCS 150. That's the whole demographics of what our company, who the company officials are. And they go look at that to make sure that who's your drivers. They know all of our drivers. Okay, we see them. They're on there. You see? So making sure I'm not hiring some outside drivers to come attach onto my authority that got a bad record. They looked that all up, So, but when you get into the business, no one is teaching you that. No one's telling you that. You pretty much got to get in there and figure it out for yourself.
Right. That's exactly what happened.
And when I took over the dispatching, our revenue in that month that I took over went up by, it tripled when I took it over. So that shows me what these guys were doing, what they really were doing out there that we had hired on these dispatches to do for us. And I realized dispatching is not that hard. It's really not a difficult job. It's different. It was difficult because I didn't know what I was doing. But once I looked, it's just calling these guys, negotiate. Like today, I was looking. It was a rough day as far as getting loads for them. And then I just waited it out. Got an email from a broker emailing me directly, "Hey, we need you to run this. Can you do it?" And I said, "Oh yeah, I can." And from that load, he gave us 2 more loads. He said, "Yes, we run stuff out of South Carolina all the time. We'll call you guys whenever we have it." That's in our backyard. So patience, being patient and not just taking the first thing you see, So, but that all comes with growth and leveling up to where you want to be. You have to be willing to take risk, and you have to be willing to weather those risks and let it work itself out, because it will. It will always work itself. Like the videos. Oh, you didn't know how that was going to be, but eventually you're like, wow, this is not so bad. I can do this. So, okay. It becomes second nature to you. This year, this time, you'll be even way more like, oh, and you'll really see, now you really got to see what my words were saying. Just do it. Don't think about it. Don't make a big deal out about it. Just go ahead and make the videos. I don't care how perfect they are. Just do it. How bad they are, it's all right, because it's teaching you how to perfect your skills.
Right. I think a lot of us, when it's come to step out of our comfort zone, we're overthinking. And then when you start overthinking, you back up from actually what you're about to do, because you want it to be perfect instead of being excellent. And
well, you're using perfection as an excuse not to do it.
Exactly.
That's really what listen, I hope people are listening to me that I've talked.
Hey, I was one of them, and I had to.
I hope they're listening. You can use perfection. It becomes your excuse not to move forward in that thing you say you want to do. And that's really what it is. That underlying fear of doing it, you're using perfection as the shield or the block or the cover to cover up that fear.
Right.
You see, I call it what it is. And no, that's not. Yes, it is. Because I said, until you prove me wrong, I'm always going to be right. There's several people, and I hope they're listening to me, that I've told, and they're still working on these businesses. Remember, you hear me talking about, how many years you hear me talking about all these people, they working on these businesses, and they say they working on it, they putting it out there? How many years you be talking about? Them people are still working on it.
Wow.
They still doing it. And what I'm saying is, as much as I say it, that I'm like, aren't y'all gonna get tired of me bringing that out, y'all making me right. And I am right because as long as you're sitting there not putting it out there, I'm always going to be right. I know what the hindrance is. It's just really fair creating distractions for yourself, you doing this and doing that and saying this is the reason why I can't do it. No, because at the end of the day, this body has an expiration date. And
Mm-hmm.
one day you're not going to be able to do anything.
Right.
One day, sooner or later, you're not going to be able to do anything. One day something can happen to your health that could, and you're going to be saying, man, I wish I would have.
Yeah. I
Kept
missed that opportunity.
right. The opportunity comes when that voice comes. Wake up, get up and read that book. Get up and exercise. Get up. Oh, go start the business. I don't care how, maybe you work on it 5 minutes. Like I've been working on this piece, and it's the longest piece has ever taken me. And the reason why it's taking so long because I've allowed distractions to get in my way. But now I've really been working on it, and I'm really better at it. But if I had to just stuck with it months ago, I'd be better. But because I know that's what it takes, just consistency, doing something over and over again until you get better. Practice makes better, not perfect. Because you never get there in the perfect field. Because it's always, you can always improve on your last thing you did. Always.
Mm-hmm.
So I see I'm happy you're learning that, because that knowing that, you're gonna always win.
Yeah. I remember you asked me also back in December of 2022, you said you asked me something about the business, and I said I'm working on it. And I remember your reaction. What do you mean you're still working on it? What do you mean you're still working on it? And yeah, start making videos. That's how we started the conversation about the videos.
Right.
But I've listened to you for years, and I'm listening, and I'm
Yeah.
taking your advice, and it has results. It
Well,
has results.
it shows in the ideas y'all came up with for the channels. Like that shows. A year ago, you wouldn't have been thinking of even doing those things. But because, see, this is what happens when you get into that creative space. When you start working and you're doing things, your mind starts to change its programming. All these neural neurons start to grow. Mental pathways start to be created in your brain. And you be like, all of a sudden, it's like a veil is being lifted and the world looks different to you now. See,
Yeah.
most people won't even understand that, will fly over their head what I just said. Because you can only know it unless you be it or you're doing it. You'll know what I'm talking about. You start to be like, wow, I could do this. And then you start to see you're doing exactly what I've been doing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You start to see other opportunities in other people. You want to share that. So you remember you said last week, you went to all of these people and they turned you down. I was the only one.
Mm-hmm.
You know the reason why I took you up on that opportunity? From number one, it completely matched what I saw in my head that I could never put on the screen, or because you know how many times I went to Canva and tried to build out these things and I get stuck. I said, and I know what I want to say, I know what I'm gonna deliver, but I could putting all that. That was just, I said, man, I'm gonna hire somebody to do it. I went on Fiverr looking for people. I hired someone last year to try to build me a funnel. The funnel that Steve logged into, you can see the funnel there's that they created. But this woman was not very professional. But so when you came to me with it, it already aligned with where I was in my head. I said, that's what I was looking for. Bam. But also what happened was when it's contagious. Once you get that, your mind start to work and you want to share that with people. You're learning that you can't share with everybody, but you're learning, your mind is opening, and every day that goes by that you continue to work, it's going to expand and expand and expand. And one time somebody asked me, how do you fit all that information in your head? So that means to them, their brain can't hold but so much. But that's not the truth. Our brains can hold an infinite amount of information if we're exercising and working it.
True.
So
if you just realize how creative you can be,
right.
why I'm saying that, it's I want to share. And I've realized that in the last 2 weeks, maybe, how creative I have with all those ideas. Steve bought, we have squirrels in the backyard. We bought them a picnic table and we put them food for them. And if you look at them, what they do all day, they come, they eat, they bury the food, and they go to sleep.
Right.
That's it.
Mission. Yeah.
That's it. That's all they do. We have designed, created image by God to do a lot more than just eat, bury the food, go to sleep. We have this mind, this powerful mind to create and to do and to put all our ideas out there, either for ourselves, for other people, it doesn't matter. But once, like you said, once you start creating and you start seeing the big picture, it's
it's like an unfinished canvas that you continue to paint.
Yes.
So that's what it is. But this is why most people can't get over the hump. They don't do it. They don't get. That's why I tell you to make the 100 videos, because I know that if you made those videos, it will open up and expand your consciousness, and you will flip to the other side by default and become something totally different that you was from a year ago. That's why I said it, because I said if you do it, trust me. Right now you can't see it because you're not experiencing that. You're not familiar. But if I knew once you did it, you started making it, your mind starts to, well, man, I need to do this. You start listening to yourself. Like I said that. Wow, that was great. You start really admiring your own voice. And that's the key. To be a great speaker, a great influencer, the first person you have to influence is yourself. The first person you have to uplift is yourself. And once you uplift yourself, it'll be easy to uplift others, to share that. Because then they can see the truth in you by what you say and what you do. They can see that clearly. So really, when you're doing this work, you're just making yourself better, so that when you present to your world, you're just showing them the work you did, the art, the artistry of what you painted yourself to be. And so when people see that, wow, this person really is emanating real divine qualities in front of the world. I want to be like that.
Right.
That's what you're spreading. Now, of course, you got these other platforms that just spread negativity, but that's what they do. But when you make a choice to elevate yourself and you move in the power of that, it's a liberating experience.
Right.
It's very liberating. So
yeah. So as we talk about stepping out of the comfort zone, understanding what comfort zone are you in, and it's all in your daily routine, in your activities. What is that you're doing every day? You like wake up and you do the same thing every day, but at the other hand, you said, but I want more. I want more clients. I want more money. So your answer is actually in your daily routine.
Yeah.
And I think something to do in order to step out is start small. Like you said, you look at the outcome of someone big and you don't see how he got there, but start with something small. Start with something that you can achieve, and it will increase with time, like I did. But don't try to find something very, very small.
Give an example of starting small. What can a person do?
Let's say, okay, you want to go to the gym. Okay, you want to go to the gym. Don't start with like 1 hour lifting weights with 100 pounds.
Right.
Start small. go on the treadmill. Start, if you say you want to run, don't start run for like a speed of a marathon.
Right.
Walking and then increasing your speed with
Right.
time. And this is something small, like you're doing it small. And let's say you do it for 1 mile. That's it. And after 1 mile, you have a smile on your face and you said, wow, I did it. Let me go another half mile. Then let me go another half mile. And you find yourself doing it for 5 miles. And then you look at the time and say, wow, it's not that bad. I actually did it.
Right.
And the next day you come to the gym or the day after and you increase your speed. So if you were on a low speed, now you start. So this is something small that bring your smile on your face and you
Right.
checked and you said, I did it. I did it. I did it. I can increase and I can start adding more miles or my speed to the running that where I wanted to go. And think about everything that you've done and you make you proud.
Right.
That will actually push you automatically to do more stuff to step out of your comfort zone. Because once you've seen those results, you'll be so happy and excited that you're gonna have this fire in your body that you want to do more. You want to do something different.
Right. Now, the I'm glad you used the example of working out. And this is one of the biggest reasons why people fail at working out is that they, like you said, they go too hard, they go too big. But if
Mm-hmm.
you haven't been working out for years, you can't do that. One thing you have to get your body back into a groove. And then they get gym memberships. I don't recommend anybody get a gym membership if they haven't worked out for a long time. Gym
Mm-hmm.
memberships to me should be for people who are familiar with working out and been doing it on a regular basis because they're more likely to keep up with it. When it comes to working out, keep the exercises short and simple.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can exercise right from your bed if you want to. You can do some leg ups to kind of get your core working, or get on the floor and do some push ups.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't do 10, do one or two. And after that, do a few jumping jacks. Get your
Mm-hmm.
little trampoline, sit it in your bedroom, jump on that for about a minute if you can. Always start small and build, but be like, keep a journal and start small and say, okay, I did this day. I'm going to do more the next day. That's how you do little and increase in increments over time. By before you know it, in a month's time, if you did that, you have trained your body to desire working out. Because after a while, you'll be like, man, I ain't worked out today. I got to get that done. Of course, you got to incorporate some eating right too. But that's you can apply that to all of life. Okay, I want to give up some TV time. Okay, you can't go cold turkey. Okay, cut out an hour of it. Let me not watch this. But you have to transfer the energy, transmute
Mm-hmm.
it, transform it. Okay, if I'm not going to watch TV, what am I going to do instead? Find something constructive. Maybe you wanted to learn how to make something. Okay, I'm going to make this recipe. I want to learn this. You have to transmute instead of watching fiction programs, watch something that educates you. Just do a transfer of energy. And after a while, you'll get used to those things. When I stopped watching TV and watching regular programming, I don't watch daytime television or evening programming. I don't even know what is happening on the news. Now I watch movies. I like my Marvel movies and a few movies. I was watching The Beekeeper last night. Uh, but that's 1 hour, hour and a half. When most of the day I was in front of a screen with running the business.
Mm-hmm.
See, you have to transform your time into something more constructive for yourself. And the more you invest and put intention on what you're doing and say, what am I doing? I'm going to bring some currency into this. The
Mm-hmm.
money just fall, you know. It happens to me every day. That happens when I put intention. Hey, today I'm gonna make $10,000 today. Now I don't know what exactly I'm gonna do to make that, but I'm gonna make 10,000. And guess what?
Right.
I did start pouring. Okay, you need to do this, and just put it out there. Not to say that I make the 10,000 comes that day, but it comes.
Right.
But
you put the seed out there.
Right. You see, so very important that what you said was important. Making a plan and following through, and just start small and increase over time. Start small and increase. And
believe
anybody else is gonna have a setback,
Right. And believe in yourself that you can. And keep a journal, because like you said, I like that you said a journal, because when you document everything and you have to face another challenge and you look back of what you did, that will give you that excitement of doing it again.
Right.
If you go to the gym right now and you do 100 push-ups, and the next month you said, okay, I want to do 105, but now I can't do it. But you look at your result from a month ago, that will push you to do 105 push-ups.
Right.
One time. So.
But you programming yourself to be better, to do better all the time. That's what's happening. Hey man, this was a good conversation.
It was great.
Hour went by quick.
I know.
Right before the show, I said, man, I can only handle 30 minutes. I've been up all day. I've been up since 4:00 this morning. And no nap. Not one night. Like, I've dozed off in front of the computer, like dozed off, but that, got myself up. But I find that when I do that, I get a lot done. And I actually enjoy my day.
Yeah.
I really do. So, all right, Corinne, another great show of Leveling Up.
Another great show.
All right.
Stepping out of the
you need to
comfort
put your channel in the chat. How do I? Oh, yeah, I can put it over here. Oh, it's a lot of people on. Yeah. Got C King Bay. We know who that is. That's Steve. There was a way to pin. Okay, that's it. Pin them. I don't know. See, my the way I used to like to be able to show people's messages, I forgot how to do it on thing. C King Bay, Big Man Master Obo says peace. Oh, let's see. I used to be able to pin the messages on the board. Anyway. All right. You could type your. I don't know if you can see it. Your.
I can't see only the Zoom. I can't see the.
Oh, you can't see the chat. That's right. See, that's why I like the other way to do. We got to figure that out.
We will.
In Liga says peace, power, and prosperity to everyone. Greetings, Akeem and Corinne. Greetings back to you, Fred Mitchell. Who has his thumbs up. Yazi Yebe say peace. Let me see something. Yeah. I'm gonna figure this out. I used to do it from this all the time and be able to put stuff in the chat. Yeah. We'll figure it out. All right.
All right.
All right, Corinne. Well, have a rest. Good evening. Tell Steve I said good night. I'll get with him. I probably need to talk to him tomorrow again. So we're trying to get this thing going. We got to get it rolling.
Yeah. We got a lot of stuff to do. All right. Peace, everybody.
All right. Peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to everyone. You guys have a good rest of your night. And have a good night. Peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all.